Welcome to another coaching moment. Is it possible that any of you watching this right now would like just a little bit more time? A little extra time in the day, an extra day of the week? Have you ever felt that? I'm sure you have. And that's really what this question, this coaching moment is about. Because many people, especially now with the speed of technology, all the different things that we're into, the rate of change, all this incredible environment, which is such a fast-moving world, leaves us with that feeling like, hey, I'm out of time. I just don't have enough time to get everything done that I want to do. It's quite natural to go through that. It's what a lot of people are feeling, especially today. And so what this feeling really comes from is you've got to take a look at the perception that's behind it. And the perception is really that I have no choice in the matter, that I'm kind of almost a victim to time, and I'm at time's effect, I'm at its control. And instead, even though what this perception is that you really have no choice in the matter, in actuality, time management is actually choice management, because you've got to take a look at the choices that you're actually making. What is it that you're choosing to spend your time on? And this is what we truly do not spend enough time really reflecting on to decide and to truly understand, why do we have the things in our schedule that are there? And so most of the time we set these expectations for how we want to use our time, the things that we ultimately want to be able to achieve. And we recognize, hey, we want to get this done in a day, we want to get this done in a week. And then we begin to measure ourselves against this ideal time management scenario. It's amazing how much we actually think that we can get done in a day and a week, because it's amazing. I mean, we will stack things up to the greatest extent, and we will not allow ourselves any form of distraction, which of course is the nature of life. It's going to happen. So we don't really plan all that reasonably. And then we put pressure on ourselves for not being able to achieve that ideal. So we've got to take a look back at this perception and start to take a look at, hey, wait a minute, I do have a choice as to what's on my schedule. There's a reason why I've got some of these things on my schedule. And that's where we really jump off. When you consider that time management is really choice management, you want to take a look at a couple of things. Number one, for the things that, if you list out all the things that are already on your schedule and you break them out into the things that you want to do versus the things that you feel like you have to do, for that column that you feel like you have to do, now you can start breaking it down into, wait a minute, why is it that some of these things exist on my schedule? Why did I choose to put them on my schedule in the first place? Use the common example of, hey, I feel like I'm always running around maybe with my kids getting them to their next activity, and that doesn't leave you with a lot of time for yourself or for other things that you're trying to do, and that puts a lot of pressure on you. Step back and realize, wait a minute, why am I doing that in the first place? What was it that I was trying to provide to my children, to my family, by getting involved in all these activities? Remember that there was a purpose that was there. Make sure that you see that purpose in what it is that you're doing, because that is a choice. That is not an obligation that you have simply created for yourself. So always recognize why you've chosen some of the things that are there. And then as you go down that list of have to, part of that will start to get cleared up because you remember why you're doing it. And then for other instances, really challenge, does this need to be on my schedule? Does this really help me achieve the types of things that I'm trying to achieve for my family, for my career, for my wealth, for my health? Does it really need to be there? Is it helping me achieve those types of things? Because very often we'll also continue to keep things on our schedule long after we've actually changed direction, and we forget to pull them back off again. So know your goals, and that's really the next part of this. To be able to make those choices, you need to know what your goals are. You need to know the type of vision that you've got for your family, for your career, your business, for maybe your finances, for your health. You need to know what your goals are right now so that you can next prioritize them. You need to know what are the top priorities that are on your schedule that help you create and achieve the type of goals that you've got in all these different areas of your life. You also need to be able to prioritize where your focus is primarily going to be. You can't spend and put your energy in all of these different directions, or you are going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to feel like you've run out of time. You're going to feel burnt out. But if you can prioritize and say, these are the 2 or the 3 things that are most important to me in my life or in my career right now, that'll help you to start to prioritize. Once you've prioritized, now you can start to give yourself a reasonable time frame for trying to achieve whatever it is that you're going after. Because again, you cannot just simply go out there. You want to know what the ideal is. You do want to know what that vision is, but you've got to make it reasonable. You've got to set up some expectations so that you're not putting constant pressure on yourself. And then once you've done all of those things, you know what your goals are, you know how you've prioritized them, you've given yourself a reasonable time frame or a series of time frames to bring about some of the change or create the type of results that you're after. The final thing then is starting to really list out the tangible, simple, specific next step that you need to be able to take. Because once you list out that specific next step, you've got to give your mind clarity around this is specifically what it is that I need you to do. If you leave it vague, the mind will stay overwhelmed because it's uncertain about what you actually want it to do. There's ambiguity there. Be very specific about what it is that you need to do and where that needs to fit on your schedule. So as you walk through this process, what really a lot of this stems from is what I'm going to ask you to do sometime over the next week. It begins with some quiet reflection, because many of us feel overwhelmed and that time has taken over because we have not clearly identified the choices that we're making for ourselves and how they benefit us. It's time to do some quiet reflection. Your starting point is getting clear on what your vision is. What is it that you are trying to create for your life, for your career, etc.? Why are those things that you're trying to create? What's the motivation behind that vision? So that you can then prioritize what's most important to you at this time. And what's most important to you over this next 6 months, 6 months after that, the year after that. Those priorities can change, they can evolve, especially as things start to come together again. But this will allow you, if you reflect on that purpose, that vision, and the priorities that you've got, that'll allow you to start to make choices once again about what goes on your schedule. And now you are choosing how you are going to use time, as opposed to letting time dictate what you can get done. Best of luck to you over the next week.